Hello, welcome to Cruise Shop Save. I'm Melissa, and this is the channel where you're going to get all your free cruise port information, free cruise port maps, because not all the cruise lines provide them, and you definitely cannot get your maps before you get on board the ship. So if you want to do some research, then this is definitely the place. We've also got shopping coupons, and we give you a lot of insider secrets as well. So Cruise Shop Save is a place to go just to research all the ports of call before you go on your cruise. If you're booked on a cruise soon, or you're thinking about cruising, you don't know what destination, then Cruise Shop Save is the place to go. Each week, I also interview a very interesting guest, mostly from my past or from connected friends, but we get like a little bit of an insider scoop on what's going on board the ships. And this week is no exception. I've got an amazing guest for you. And without further ado, let me bring him on. This is Alex B. Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. It's so good to see you. And we've got such a massive time difference, don't we? Because tell everybody where you are.
Yeah, I'm in Bangkok right now. So I'm like in between, I'm doing my own little repositioning right now between contracts.
Okay, all right. So you just finished a contract. So what ship did you just finish?
Oh, I was on the Oceania Regatta. We were in
Oh,
Alaska.
lovely ship. Yes, I love the
Yeah,
Oceania cruise lines. All the ships are beautiful, and the guests, they've always got great things to say about Oceania.
yes, they're a good bunch of guests. I mean, they're small ships, so you get to know everybody.
It's
It's really
nice.
a unique experience. Yeah.
It is nice. And is that the only cruise line you work on? Because tell everybody what you do.
Oh, okay. So, what I do now, I'm a trunk show host. I work for a company called Crown Collection, based out of London, England. And so basically, I bring on certain types of jewelry. Like right now, because we're going to be my next contract, we're going to be going to Australia, New Zealand, and it's going to be
Nice.
opals and South Sea pearls. And I just
Oh,
present, and
wow.
I bring my wares, and
In a trunk.
hopefully in a trunk, and well, actually in the back, in Tupperwares in my backpack. Uh,
It's not as romantic as a nice Louis Vuitton trunk.
no. It takes me about a week to unclench my fist, because it's so used to hold on to that backpack.
Oh, I bet. That's scary. We shouldn't say too much more about that. But that's
I
so
won't tell
funny.
you what
But that is
backpack. I'm not telling you what flights.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. We'll be hunting you down, Alex. No, that's funny. Yeah. I mean, you never know what people have got in their backpacks, right? When you're traveling, you're like, whoa, what's in that
Yeah,
backpack? Cool.
little do they
So
know.
yeah. So trunk shows are pretty prevalent on most ships. Is it a new concept or has it been around a while?
No, this has been around for a long time. In fact, I think a lot of the jewelry, a lot of the major brands you see on cruise lines, they got their start on as trunk shows before they became more established. Let's just say.
Right,
And somebody would come
right,
and represent and either work with the shops or work with the jewelry companies, that are on the ships.
right,
And yeah,
right.
it, it's
Yeah.
not a bad gig.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds good. And what's the benefits for the guests? What's the benefits for and how do they find out what trunk shows on board the ships?
Well, it's kind of hard for them to find out who's on the ships. I mean, unless they're talking to somebody like you and cruise shop save that you can actually promote. But other than that, it's usually just hit or miss for most guests. They try to be more specific for the itineraries. Like I'm not going to bring Tanzanite to a cruise in Colombia. I'm bringing
Right.
emeralds. Things like that.
Emeralds, yeah. Okay, so it's destination led rather than usually on board a cruise ship, you've got like a basic generic I say generic, I mean it's pretty spectacular. You've got diamonds,
Oh, you're
diamonds,
run of the mill,
run of the mill, sort of some sapphires, some rubies,
right?
some. But what you bring is a bit of flavor. You bring the destination because obviously people going to Colombia are interested in emeralds, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I mean with Oceania, we actually do manage all that other stuff, the diamonds, the sapphires, the rubies, things like that, even some
Right.
tanzanite. I don't think you could be on a cruise
Right.
ship without seeing Tanzanite. But but yeah, and then it's very much destination specific as far as what we really try
Right.
to promote.
Right. Okay. Well, before I get too ahead of myself, because the best thing about talking to you is that where you're going next and what you're doing. But what I would like to do is just go back in time and find out how did it all start for Alex. And I asked you to send me some photographs, and so I have these pictures of you. And so tell me what if you can, because I'm like getting older and I'm
That,
like, I know the date I started ships. What date did you start working on cruise ships and what was your position?
well, I started actually not too long. I started in 2017. I started with
Okay.
Panel Publishing International (PPI), as it's known in the
Right.
industry, and I was a port lecturer. And my first
Okay.
contract, I was sent to Alaska on a ship
Nice.
called the Zondam,
Nice.
and
So I've
yeah, it was
got
my
this
first contract.
picture.
I mean, oh
Is
yeah,
this
there it
you?
is.
There you are. And this is you on the ship, right?
Yes,
That's you on the Zandam, right? And this was your position.
yes, port shopping ambassador. That's on the Holland ship there. So my name was everywhere. It was
Right.
rather. I wasn't expecting that my first contract.
Really? And what made you go for that position? Like, what did you do before that, if I may ask?
Okay, actually, I had no idea that the position even existed. I got called by a
Right.
recruiter who was recruiting for Bill Panoff, our good friend, and
Yeah.
they selected me. But in terms of what I did before, I was in Dubai for 5 years. I was actually doing corporate trainings, management consulting. I was tied in with a
Wow.
lot of the petrol companies and
Oh, wow.
oil. Back in 2016, oil had gone from like $100+ a barrel down to like 30, 20. So all the money dried.
Right.
I went
Oh,
back to the
wow.
States, set my shingle up on LinkedIn, and I got a call from somebody from PTI. They're like,
Oh,
"You got the
wow.
international experience, and
Yeah.
it's like, you got the sales experience, so you want to try it?" I'm like, "Go to Alaska for 6 months? Yeah, I'll give it a shot." And here I am, like 9 years later. I mean, I love it.
Wow.
Eight
That's
years later, yeah.
amazing. Yeah. And the shocking thing is that you and I have never met. We've never bumped into each other in port, and we're both in the industry. However, we know all the same people, and I've got this amazing picture of a really good dear friend of ours, Robbie, right?
Robbie, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
When
Robbie
did you meet
Vallon.
Robbie?
Oh, I met Robbie back when I started with PPI. I mean, he was just legendary at the time.
Yeah.
And this cruise here, he was actually the port shopping guy. This was on let's see, it was on the NCL Sun. And he was
Okay.
the port shop. No, I'm sorry, not Jones, Sun, Pearl. And so he
Perfect.
was the port shopping guide. And then I was the trunk show host back then for a
Right.
different company. And he just took me
Right.
under his wing. I told him, I said, look, I said, I want to
Right.
be better at what I do. And he was such a gracious man. I mean, as good as
Yeah.
he was, he had no problems, like, sharing what he knew.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He touched all of our lives, and he's sadly no longer with us. And we all miss him dearly, right? Mm.
Absolutely.
He helped everybody. He helped everybody. He just yeah. But then we connected over this guy, Tommy Guns.
Tommy Guns. That's a picture of us in Alaska a couple of years ago. So, yeah.
Super stylish Tommy Guns. So I was interviewing him. I think he was my last interview. I've taken a break. And he's been to French Polynesia, and he's also doing trunk show. And you're like messaging me and I'm like, how do I not know this guy, Alex? And so you and I connected, and we're like, we know all the same people. So where's this at?
Yes.
This is in Alaska?
This is at Infinity Jewellery, I think, in
Yeah,
Ketchikan.
I see that. Yeah. In Ketchikan. Yeah. And that's owned by Arik, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it was. I don't think it is anymore,
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, yeah, it was Eric. Yeah, you're right. I don't know who has
Great
it now,
guy. Yeah.
but yeah, Eric, yeah.
Okay. And then so sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. And so then as with all of us, life on cruise ships takes you in a different path. and you had went out one night, right? So tell everybody, like, when you're on board a ship, the social life for crew is pretty intense, right? So you went out one night just to have a few drinks and cocktails, right?
Well, it was a crew party. I just gotten on
Crew
board,
party,
and I got
right?
lucky that that the shipwide crew party was like 2 nights after I joined.
Oh, nice. Okay. And you met
Hmm.
a special lady, and I'm going to share a beautiful picture. Here we go.
Oh yeah, that was the
Who's
night
this?
we met. Uh, that
Right.
is my now wife. That is Serena. You call her Siri.
Yeah. Suri.
And so yeah, we met. That was on New Amsterdam for
Nice.
Holland America.
This is such a great picture. I love it so much. Please say you have this framed in your house somewhere.
We have it. We have it.
That's nice. That's nice. And so you met your second night on
Yeah,
board.
we
Yeah.
yes. No, go ahead. Yeah, we met second night on board, and we stayed together for about 5 years.
Wow.
Being together and working on cruise ships, and then finally, I proposed to her a couple. It was last year. Yeah, yeah. There it is.
Yes.
And what
There we
was
go.
funny about this
That
pic?
is,
What's funny
yeah.
about that picture is that we actually came back 5 years later to New Amsterdam.
Oh, right. Okay.
And so it was just kind of like serendipitous. It was like, okay, here we are back. We talked about getting
Yeah.
married, and
Life's like
like,
that.
we got to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do this because it's like we're back on the same ship. So where we met.
Yeah. Life's like that. So you met on the New Amsterdam and you got engaged on back on the New Amsterdam.
Yeah,
And
got engaged.
tell me about this gorgeous ring, though. I mean, this is stunning. What gemstone is that?
Well, that is an aquamarine. So
It's
she
beautiful.
just told me, she said she didn't want a big diamond. I mean, I'm in the jewelry business. I mean, I could have whatever she wanted, gotten for her. And but she picked this ring out. It was an aquamarine. And she said, no, she said, aquamarine represents the sea. I don't know if many of your listeners would know this, but aquamarine was given as a talisman, mostly during the
Ah,
Venetian times. It was given by mothers and daughters and wives
okay.
to
I
the
did not
men,
know that.
to their,
Yeah.
yeah, to the men in their lives, the seafaring men. And of course, Venice was a big trading and seafaring country. So they would wear them as talismans so this would bring them back home safe. So she
Wow.
said that she wanted the aquamarine because it meant so much about the sea and us living and working on the sea.
It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite gemstones. I used to have a beautiful aquamarine that I used to wear from A.H. Reese. You remember A.H. Reese in St.
Yeah.
Thomas? A long time ago. But you've had a wonderful career on ships, and I've got some lovely photographs. I mean, this is you guys. Did you manage to work together a lot? Was that easy or hard?
No, it wasn't too bad. I mean, the first contract I met her, she worked in the dining room. So she was
Okay.
waiter, a waitress, and so she did that. And that's where I met her. And then after that, we just kind of hit it off really well. So why don't you come work with me? And of course, port shopping is one of those rare positions that you can do it as a couple if it works
Right.
out. And
Yeah.
so she started coming around. She started coming around with me, and yeah, worked out really well. One thing I have to say about
Yeah.
ships is that if you are with somebody, like we have this saying, it's kind of dark, but it's like till gain we do us part. But for those
Yes.
couples that actually do make it together, it's very quick whether or not you're going to like be compatible with that
Yeah.
person because you
Yeah.
can't get
True.
away from on shifts. And you live in a shoebox.
Right. Right.
We
Yeah.
don't have the big guest cabins.
Right. Exactly.
So
Crew cabins are not that desirable. They're functional, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, if you can make it contract after contract on a cruise ship in a relationship, you can do it anyway. But looks like you guys had a lot of fun. I mean, you've traveled, you've been
yeah,
to this Panama Canal. Such a cool thing
yep,
to do together, right?
yeah. That was with what was it? That was with Oceania on the Serena that year. So we were actually going in and out of the Panama Canal. So it was
Right.
really nice to do that cruise.
Yeah, I bet. And then Venice, beautiful.
Oh yeah,
I love Venice. Yeah. And Alaska, you guys did Alaska together.
yeah. We did Alaska quite a few times together. Um,
Right.
most of my summers have been in Alaska.
Right. Cool. I love Alaska. Do I I'd go to Alaska every year if I could. I just absolutely love Alaska. And then so what's the situation now? So you're living in Bangkok, Thailand. You guys are married. You're doing trunk shows.
Hmm.
Does she come with you for the trunk show still?
Oh yeah, no, she still comes with me as she doesn't come on as like as a guest. She comes on as her and I work together. So we do that. We
Nice.
do the work as a couple. So I handle all the front. I handle all the taka taka. It could be being port shopping. It's the problem is not putting the mic in my hand; it's taking it out. So I talk to all the
Yeah.
guests. I do all the socializing, and then she handles all the back office, all the admin stuff.
Oh, wow. What a team. I mean, this is great. When you meet someone, if you can work together, live together, what a team. I mean, setting yourself up for success. And then, so what's some of your bucket list places? Because I've got this amazing picture of you, and we were talking just now, and I got it wrong. Can you tell us where this is?
Yeah, that is actually in Guatemala. That is Tikal, and that picture is very unique for anybody that's a Star Wars fan. That's the one where they showed them in Star Wars where they're like on the Millennium Falcon. You can see takeoff, and there's this building there.
Really?
Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into it, but that's the shot that they used. But Tikal was just one of those
Really?
bucket list items because there's so much there. I mean, how they built these pyramids. It's like going to Egypt or Giza. You look at me like,
Oh,
how the
wow.
hell did these people build this? And to be able to
Right.
go there, and we landed in what was it, Puerto Quetzal, and then we took the plane to to the airport near Tikal, and that was amazing because you're flying around these volcanoes, and a lot of them are
Gosh.
smoldering, and that was just amazing unto itself. The
Wow.
flight, and then you get to Tikal, and you're spending all day there climbing up and down these pyramids and listening to all this history. It's just like that was definitely one of these items.
Wow.
I mean, if your guest ever had the chance to do the Tikal trip, I highly recommend it.
And so what cruise would guests be on for that? Is it South America?
Usually, it's a repositioning cruise. Yeah,
Right.
South America, but Guatemala usually is on a repositioning
Okay.
from
Okay.
from east to west.
Okay, got it. Right. Okay, so that's really cool because when I spoke to Tom, our mutual friend, he managed to get to the Easter Islands, and he said that
Yes,
was a bucket list. And he said same thing. How did they get there? And actually, there's a program on TV. I saw it on Netflix, and I thought, and it talks about the Easter Island, and also I think it talks about how did these people build these
right.
massive or move these massive stones and it's just so fascinating, and there are some theories, and we won't get into it right now because it's not that kind of show.
This isn't a Graham
But
Hancock episode, right?
no, it's yeah. But I mean, I believe all that stuff. I mean, I'm into it. I'm like, you can tell me anything, I believe it. But yeah, it's fascinating, and I think that's one of the most wonderful things about cruising. I mean, cruise shops say we're all about going on a cruise and where to shop and how you can save time and money, and it's all about that. But one thing I do love is the experiences. If people are going on a cruise somewhere unique like that, they really do need to put their hands in their pockets
Hmm.
and pay for that tour and go through the cruise line. The independent tours probably wouldn't, because I do recommend sometimes people taking little independent tours, but not in this instance. You want it, it's a life-changing event, right? What did it do for you when you
Right.
went there?
And like you said, just opened up my mind because you see these things on TV, and it just
Yeah,
the TV doesn't know justice. When you gotta go there, and you gotta be like,
right.
how do they do this stuff? And you're climbing on this, and you're seeing the stuff that was done way back when, and it just really leaves you scratching your head by the time
Yeah,
you leave. But but it's in a good way, because it really opens
yeah,
you up to
right.
what could be out
Exactly.
there.
Exactly, and that's just the beautiful thing about cruising. I love it. And this is such a cool picture, and I was trying to figure out where it was, and you were like trying to make me guess, and I'm like, is it St. Martin? Is it? Tell everybody where this is.
Uh, that
Looking
is
cool, by the
actually
way.
Ward Cove. Yeah, it's Ward Cove in Alaska. Now,
Ward
most people are not
Cove.
going to think Alaska. Yeah, because I'm
Oh
in like a
wow.
t-shirt and shorts, but yeah, Alaska can get warm sometimes.
Yeah, oh, very. I mean, the last time we were there, we did a couple of days in San Francisco and it was horrendous weather. Like it was raining sideways. It
Mm,
was, we had all our Alaska gear on. And then when we got to Alaska, it was
right.
like the hottest summer. And we had to go shopping. We had to go buy t-shirts. And so people are always baffled as
Hmm.
to what to wear on a cruise. And I just say, take layers, take shorts, take t-shirts,
Oh yeah,
take long sleeve shirts, then a sweater, and then, you just got to
you
pack
live
for
you
all.
live in England. You're
Right.
used to that.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, but we got completely caught out
Uh,
because
Packing for
yeah.
me is flip flops because whether it's hot, cold, rainy, whatever, I mean, I get my flip flops.
Are you one of those guys? So do you know what? I just never get that. There's a guy who goes to our pub, our local pub here where we live, and he's always in shorts and flip flops in England in the middle of winter. Are you that guy?
Oh no, no. When I lived in the Midlands, I was not that guy. But
Yeah,
but when I'm in Florida, when I'm back home in Florida, I'm definitely that
yeah,
guy. Yeah, I mean, I've got
yeah.
my house flip flops. I got my going to the supermarket flip flops. I got my dinner flip flops in case we go someplace nice. You know, so
I love it. So what you're talking about home, I mean, you're living in um Thailand, that's your home at the moment. Where would you come from
yeah,
originally?
I so originally from Brooklyn. I'm a New
Right.
Yorker, but I grew up in South Florida, in well, which is technically the sixth borough of New York, what we like to call it, because mostly everybody
Yeah.
there is like my parents. They migrated from the cold in the north down to Fort
Right.
Lauderdale,
Right.
Miami,
I,
back in the
yeah.
'60s and '70s.
Oh, did they? Right. That long ago. I love New York though, but I couldn't live there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
well,
lived in South Florida too for a while. I loved it. Yeah. It's great. It's got that nice vibe. It's such a cool place.
yeah, I like Fort Lauderdale. That's really what I
Yeah.
consider
Fort
my,
Lauderdale. Yeah.
my home in the States. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Cool. And then, so now what's next? What's coming up for you? Where are you going next? What ship?
So actually going back to the Oceania Regatta. Actually, if you can go back to that last picture with me and the two ships in one cove,
That's
that's
it.
actually the ship right there.
Oh yeah,
So, and
it
it's
is.
perfect. It's only got around 600 passengers. So again, if your
Nice.
guests are looking for, I mean, and I think that was the Joy or the Escape next to us.
Right.
Escape Bliss. It's that class of NCL ship, and 4,000 passengers, 4,000 plus passengers versus
Oh, it's a
600.
lot. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so nice to be on these small ships, and that ship is
Yeah.
now going from Alaska while I reposition myself to Thailand. It's going East Asia. It's in Japan right now, and then I will pick it
Oh
up
wow.
November 14th in Singapore.
Oh,
To myself and
nice. Not
Siri.
too far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, call it
That's
about 2
nice.
weeks, and then we'll take the ship through Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and then we'll do Australia, New Zealand for a while, and then we'll go
Nice.
back up through the islands to Singapore, and then we'll get off. And
Nice.
that'll be I think April. April.
Okay, nice. So, and I've been on board Oceania Regatta. It's a great ship, and the guests on board are so nice. They're
Oh
just
yeah,
chilled, and the cruises are longer. So everyone just and the food is
right.
amazing. Oceania
Yeah.
food's fabulous. And then, so tell us about the products that you're gonna. What's the trunk show? Tell us about that.
So okay. So when I was in Alaska, a lot of those tanzanite, colored diamonds, and things like that. So now that we're going to Australia, New Zealand, we have to have, of course, the Australian opals. We'll have white opals, black opals, boulder
Oh,
opals. We'll have a whole
amazing.
assortment there, and
Yeah.
then of course South Sea pearls, which a lot of
Oh
them most
wow.
people don't realize are actually farmed on the north coast of Australia.
Really?
So they're
Okay.
still, yeah, they're still kind of specific to our itinerary. But your normal whites, your Tahitian blacks. I'll have all that gold pearls, which a lot of people don't even know exist.
Oh,
A lot of my guests, they see the
beautiful.
gold South Sea pearls, and they're like, "Are those painted?" I'm like, no, man, that's natural. That's how the pearl comes.
Wow.
And they go crazy over these gold pearls because you don't see them anywhere.
Gosh. No, no, you don't. I mean, Mikimoto used to have beautiful pearls, but they're super expensive. But I
Yeah,
love South Sea pearls. I think the luster is just phenomenal. It's just beautiful. And Australian opal. It's just so natural, such so
yeah,
organic, right?
yeah.
I
That's what I
love
like
it.
about it.
And
And
so
there's
do you,
yeah,
yeah, yes,
so much history
yes,
about
a lot
both
of
as well. So yeah.
yeah. So do you do trunk? Are you going to do seminars so you can talk about the history and showcase
Oh
some of the
yeah.
product? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I'll be talking about electro opals. I'll be talking about the opals themselves, but also about like the two repeated mines and and the whole history of how opals came around through Queen Victoria and Victorian ages and how they got
Wow.
promoted. Yeah, so there's all these different seminars, and then of
Wow.
course on the pearls, talking about like the history of some of the pearls, especially those that are really unique to nature or history and yeah, just
Right.
one specific on Tahitian black and what makes them black, what makes the gives the pearls their color, and things that a
Right.
lot of people just to educate them on.
And it's so important. I love that. And one thing I used to tell guests all the time, the most amazing thing about going on a cruise and going somewhere special like Australia and New Zealand, and the surrounding islands, are you go to Fiji in that? You guys would be going to
No,
Fiji
no,
probably.
nothing. So,
No, doesn't go down.
after that itinerary, then it goes to South Pacific. So
Oh, South Pacific. Okay. And so you're on board till from December until when? When can people find you
it's
there?
about April. I think about mid-April.
Mid-April. Okay, cool. Oh, that's amazing. So you're there for quite some time. So
Hmm.
any guests that are cruising to Australia, New Zealand can find you on board the ship and they can come and say hello to you and your wife, Siri, and
That's it.
say, I saw you online.
Come find me midship deck 5 in the boutiques.
Midship Deck 5, go say hi to Alex and Siri and say that you saw them online. This is so cool. And definitely go to the seminars. If I was on board the ship, I'd definitely be at the seminars. I'd be taking notes. I'd be like, oh, that's so interesting.
That's my favorite thing to do on this ship. It's like
Yeah.
aside from like meeting people and I go up to the smoking section. I hang out with the guys and we'll smoke cigars. But
Yeah.
it's these seminars because I used to be a corporate trainer when I was in Dubai. So
Right.
it's like I tell people, so this is my chance to go back to like what I used to love doing with that, and just
Right.
share that
Yeah.
knowledge.
Exactly. I love it. And so you're doing that, and then people can come and see you. And I mean, the best thing about buying an Australian opal from you is that you'll keep it forever. And every time you look at it, or touch it, or feel it, or when people say, "Oh my God, those pearls are beautiful," you can say, "Yes, I got these on my cruise from Alex
You're gonna
when we went to
you're gonna capture
Australia."
those memories. You're gonna capture those
Capture them,
memories. You're gonna have them for a
absolutely,
lifetime, and tax and duty
exactly.
free.
Oh, yes. So you're saving a lot of money with the tax and duty free. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That is a
they
big
do
bonus.
save a
Yeah,
lot.
totally.
Yeah.
And I'm just want to finish on this one last picture of you because it's something you were saying earlier about you met your wife on New Amsterdam at a crew party, got engaged
Mhm.
on New Amsterdam, and it's serendipitous, isn't it? And then this is a great picture of you with the sand
That was
down, and
me.
this was your first ship, right?
That was my first ship. The one with the picture that you started with me looking all young with my hair crazy. Uh, yeah. So that was we just happened to come into Ketchikan, and actually I think the shuttle bus dropped us off right there by dock 3,
Right.
dock 4, and yeah, Zonda
Yeah.
was sitting there. I was like, holy cow! I said, look at that! I haven't seen that ship in forever, and there it was.
Yeah, neat. I love it. Well, thank you for sharing your journey. I really appreciate it. It's not over yet. So perhaps
Yep.
what I noticed about your Facebook, and I put your Facebook here, and I know people can't
Oh,
click
thanks.
on it, but I will put a link if that's all right, because you started doing videos
Sure.
of yourself in port, which I find very useful, and I'll tag them in what we do as well. So it's really useful.
Okay. Thanks. No, I
Yeah.
just I don't know. I feel like I just wanted to share what we know. I mean, it's like I can't be on ships forever. And so
No.
the off ramp is basically Trying to do stuff like like you're doing. You came from ships, and now you're the
Yeah,
online world is changing things and making new
absolutely.
opportunities available. And
Yeah,
so I think, well, why not? You're focusing on cruises. I figure I'll focus on Thailand and Syria, and
I
I can
love
do
that.
that.
Exactly,
Hmm.
and I love that. And we love following your journey, and I definitely want. Will you come back and talk to us when you finish your contract next year?
Oh, absolutely. It'd be my pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, this has been a delight. If anyone's got any questions for Alex, please put them in the comments. We'll put the link. Please go ahead
Yep.
and follow Alex as well on his Facebook
Yep.
account too. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Give my
Melissa.
regards
Thanks
to
for
your
having
wife
me.
and enjoy the
I
rest of
will.
your day. Take care, Alex. Thanks. Bye.